What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, man. Lauren Gardner from DAZN and from MLB Network. Just going to hear some about her experiences, her advice, different things that she's went through as an up and coming person that's trying to come to the sports media industry. She's been doing it for a long time. Graduated from the University of Colorado. Was also a Denver Broncos cheerleader, so I'll definitely ask her about those experiences as well. So looking forward to having her on and interviewing her. So, and, I should say more of a conversation than an interview. It's not really an interview. It's two people talking. I want to ingratiate myself with her and let her know that I'm a sports writer, reporter, and just kind of build a connection with her. And that's what I wanted to do in reaching out to her. All right, here we go. Say no more. She is ready, and so am I. Here we go.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, Lauren. How we doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so sorry about this. I was trying to do this on my iPad and it was not working.
I can't see you. Is that?
Okay, yeah. So, you can't. Son of a gun. Dude, I'm sorry. Here, wait, start video.
There we go. Oh.
Okay, sorry. I'm turning on my Bluetooth and AirPods.
Got you. You went out again.
Yes, I will be on in 1 second. I was just making sure I have AirPods on here. And
Got you. No problem.
okay. Boom. Does that sound better?
It sounds great. And
hi.
Hi. How are you?
I am good. How are you? Sorry, I'm trying. This is literally what I'm dealing with. This is what it looks like when I'm trying to. You have your shit together, my friend. I do not.
You're dealing with a lot, so I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
There we go. Okay, I think we can make this work. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Staying healthy?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
I am good.
You look fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. As do you. We had to do an interview for boxing, so had to put on my hot girl disguise, as we call it.
Hey, well, I'm pretty sure that's 24/7 with you. It takes a lot to get this looking cute. Okay, it does.
You're so no. You woke up like that.
But I'm happy that you allocated your time to me. I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
And first, before I get started, I want to ask, how are you and your family doing during these pandemic times?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Family's healthy. Okay, we're gonna restart this interview, Chris. I'm so sorry. Let me get a better surface. I apologize. This is so unprofessional. Okay. This is what happens when we're living in these pandemic times, as you just said, sir. Okay, there we go.
You're good. I got you.
Perfect. Did you want to start over, or are you cool with just rolling with the punches?
Nah, we're gonna roll with it. We live.
I love that. Thank you for asking. Family's great. I'm doing well. My sister just had her third baby, so we're really excited about that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, back in Colorado, so I am an aunt once more, but so lucky, honestly, so thankful that everyone remained healthy. What about yourself? Is everyone okay with you and yours?
I live by myself. My mother lives on the other side of town, so with my aunt and my uncle and family over there. So I check on her every now and then, give her a call, make sure she's okay. Aww. If she needs anything, I'm ready to go and get it for her or whatever. But she's good. My dad is in New York, so he's in upstate New York. So I check on him as well. About a couple times a week, so he's doing pretty good.
Oh, you're such a good son. Now, of course, so where are you located?
I'm located in Georgia.
Right on.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. So, and that's a great segue because I wanted to tell you why I wanted to have you on. So basically, I wanted to have you on because, one, I've seen some of your reels. I know you're very professional. You're very good at what you do.
Thank you.
And I want to talk to the best of the best. And that's what I consider you as. And yeah.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
Right. That's right. I'm talking to you. Absolutely. So I wanted to reach out and just try to be as professional as possible, let you know who I am, I'm an older senior student in college, and I really want to get into this profession. I do. I love sports. I love writing. I love reporting. I love it all. I'm a staff writer for my magazine, school magazine. I'm also on the sports radio team for our school, and I just got an internship with locally with our newspaper as a sports writer. So I'm going to be covering high school sports. So
congratulations!
Thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate it.
You're doing it.
I'm trying. That's for sure. So that's basically, I wanted to kind of build a connection with you because you've been in it for a while. I know you're a graduate of University of Colorado. And
you did your homework.
You was a Denver Broncos cheerleader too. I read about that as well.
Old and washed up, but yeah, once upon a time, I was out there in the chaps with the pom-poms. It was actually an amazing experience, and it was very empowering, and the sisterhood that, you know, was within that team was fantastic. It's my best friends today I made while I was on that team.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And if you look washed up, then Lord have mercy. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
I'm just saying. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of reach out to different professionals, build a connection. And then at the end of it, you know, I also wanted to submit some of my work to you, as far as my writing, and get some of your feedback and stuff like that. Because obviously, like I said, you probably, you know, you host, you report. I'm not sure if you write as well, but if you do, that's great. I would love your feedback anyway, if you did or if you didn't. So.
Well, I do not write, but I have a couple of friends that are very talented and higher profile sports writers. So I would be happy to obviously look at it myself, but pass it along. And, you know, I think what you're doing is so important because so much of this industry is about networking. Obviously, it's about putting in the work and possessing the talent, which you are doing both of those things, and you are very talented. So it's about getting to know the right people and making connections. And I had people, and I still have people in my life and in my career that someone who actually was one of those people, they kind of called it like, it's like an angel in the industry. And then they help you along through networking or, you know, providing a certain opportunity, but they expect you to pay it forward. So that's something I've always, like, it's been very important to me. If someone reaches out, I do my best to get into contact with them and then get them into contact with people who can help, you know, them fulfill their dreams. And who knows if it works out, but sometimes it does. And it's amazing. And people end up landing their dream jobs, and others, like that one didn't work, but you have to have so many irons in the fire. You know this, Chris, obviously.
Absolutely.
You have to hustle. But
yes.
One of those opportunities usually comes to fruition, and it's kind of a numbers game, but you obviously have that it factor. So I have no doubt in my mind that you will be a wild success.
I appreciate that, Lauren. I do. Before I get started, how do you get the nickname? Well, I should say Red. Is it because of your hair, or
yeah,
is it because of that? Okay, all right. Do you want to be called Lauren, Red? Does it matter?
Dude, you can call me whatever. A lot of people call me LG, obviously, in my initials. Like it was when I was working for CBS, and I don't know how it even happened, but there's like LG, you know, sports. Like we can't say an entire word. It's too much effort. We have to abbreviate.
Well, you know what? From now on, I'm just gonna call you Red for the rest of this conversation.
Okay. So what do you go by?
I just go by Chris.
Chris.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't go
Sometimes
by
people call me, you know, C, or my nickname was Bucket back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I used
to
play
basketball. Do we need to know the story? Oh, so
you
made a lot of buckets. This is
So,
good.
you know,
okay.
Yeah, put the ball in the basket quite a bit in high school. But then, you know, I wanted to be a math teacher because I love children and I love math. But when they started talking about calculus and pre-calculus and all that, I'm like, ooh, nah, I'm not with that. I'm good. So I converted that.
Above my pay grade.
yeah. So I went to sports management, and I actually changed it again because I like the writing, I like the interviewing, I like the storytelling, I also like the reporting. I like that part. So I went to journalism and emerging media, and now in my senior year, now that's what we're doing. So
congratulations. What a journey.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. Trust me. I could talk to you more about it offline, but it's been quite a journey. It has.
That's fantastic. Good for you.
Thank you. So here's my first question. My first question: what inspired you or made you want to be a sports reporter / host?
That's such a great question, and I get asked that all the time. And I think at times it's almost like a fluid answer because it was just this like compilation of so many various factors.
Yeah.
But I think, like yourself, growing up in a sports town, you grew up in Atlanta?
No, I actually was born in Chicago and raised in San Diego.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've been all over the map. Okay,
Yeah.
But still, sports towns, and that's always, and it's always this thing that I remember, like it was on in the house. There was always a game on, right? Whether it was, the Colorado Rockies or the Denver Broncos. And so that was honestly, and to this day, that's the way like I bond with my dad and my brother is like we talk about sports and then playing softball competitively growing up. And I still, at the time, I was like, maybe I want to be a vet or a pilot. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, it's always changing. And I think that's great that kids have these aspirations. And then finally, I was at this event and it was a sports magazine. And I just decided I was going to walk up to the owner and ask if they offered internships. He told me no. And my response was, well, you should. And
I got
it, right? Yeah. So I got his card and basically just worked my way in there and became an intern. And then I did the same thing at the regional network in Colorado at another event. And they were like, oh, we don't really have interns anymore. And I called the executive producer 5 times and he's like, fine, just come in. And I just wandered the hallways and found jobs to do and kind of learn the industry. And I just realized that obviously sports were great as far as the fact that they not only like transcend so many walks of life, right? Like you're brought together over this common, this bond. You're just bonded over your team, over the stories off and on, the court, the field, the ice. And so I loved that part and the excitement and the unscripted drama, but I really loved the industry and the people that worked in it because it felt like such a family. And it didn't feel like work. Like I would go into my internship after a full day of classes and it was just fun and exciting. You're running camera and ticker and all that. I didn't know I wanted to be on camera until like a couple years into internships. And I just was like, maybe I can be that goofball telling stories.
And look at you now.
Here we are.
That's awesome. That's a nice segue into my next question. My next question was going to be about your internships. Like when you was in the University of Colorado, what kind of internships did you do? And it's a 2-part question. When you graduated from Colorado, how long did it take you to find that first job? And what was it?
I know I keep saying this, but that's a great question because I think a lot of people in school think they're just going to graduate and end up with their dream job and it's going to pay all this money.
Right. That's not realistic.
That's usually not the case. Yeah. It's not very realistic at all. So I interned at a sports magazine, regional sports magazine in Denver for a year, I believe, 2 semesters. And since I was a political science major, I didn't receive credit for it, nor was I paid, but that didn't matter because the experience and the networking was invaluable. And then I interned at the regional sports network in Colorado for a semester. And then through various channels, because I was either, a cheerleader, like other things were happening. Obviously, I used that as a networking opportunity as well. And I ended up covering this was after school though, minor league hockey on the radio up the street with the CHL team for like enough to cover gas. And then they had some TV games with our regional network and then indoor lacrosse on the regional network. I became their reporter and it was because I had just done little jobs through like the magazine I was interning at. They had this like little segment on their weekly show and like I started doing the around the town stuff for them. And then I worked for a race car series, which was super random, but any opportunity that whether it existed or not, I was trying to become that person for them. Absolutely. I was like, oh, you guys don't have a reporter to do this, but maybe you need one. Like I'll go host like a lifestyle thing for that. So I think a lot of it was like thinking outside the box and making it your own and creating your own opportunities. After school though, I worked for the magazine, which it was amazing. It was not enough to, pay the bills, but it was like basically a full-time job. I was also still cheering for the Broncos. And then I was working as like the spokesperson for this race car series called Champ Car. So I was flying on the weekends to the races, doing that, coming home, working at the magazine and then also cheering. So it was a lot of jobs pieced together. And then after that, I went off and I had a corporate job for a little while I was doing like in-game hosting for the Rockies. And I worked in the cheerleader office, like marketing for the Broncos for a while after I was done. And I mean, kind of like you piece together all these little jobs, but you also still have to pay the bills. So it's just like constant hustle. And so for those, like, hopefully you can end up, you know, parlaying your internship at the newspaper into a full-time job, and the rest will be history. I have a friend who was able to do that with Sports Illustrated, which is obviously a very unique scenario.
Yes, it is.
But there is no blueprint. I think that's the biggest piece of it that, like, I don't want to say piece of wisdom to impart on people who are, you know, leaving college or going into college and they're saying they want to study journalism and they think, okay, give me the blueprint. What's the template? There isn't a set template. It's just continuing to take and maximize the opportunities that you're given and that you're pursuing.
I like that. That's a terrific answer, Ray.
Thank you. I'm like spewing all this information.
I know it. That's okay. That's all right. I can listen to you talk all day. So it's okay. It's totally cool. I understand it because right now I work full time for the lottery out here.
Oh, wow.
The lottery? Yeah. So
good for you.
Yeah. So I work full time. I go to school full time, and I'm also I also have my own blog, my own website that I blog on different games and stuff like that. So I also do event security. So I know like the multiple things that have to go on, but I'm pretty disciplined and I like to stay busy and I really love this profession. I love it. So I want to be able to, like I said, talk, connect, network, and also have experience in building a resume together and having those connections. So I definitely understand that's a grind that you was on, and it shows your hard work and a testament to you and to really wanting to be in this profession. So I admire that a lot.
Well, thank you. And hey, vice versa. That's a lot to juggle right now, but it will pay off.
Absolutely.
It's your passion.
You gotta have passion. You definitely gotta have passion. Let me ask you. So this question here, I would say, what type of things did you actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna pass that. Sorry.
No worries.
I would say
that's the beauty of it, though. Yeah. Sorry, I have very long-winded answers, and then I end up covering things.
Oh, that's good. I'm so happy. I'm happy about that. Has there ever been a time in your life that you did not want to continue doing sports before being in the sports media industry? And if so, how did you show the resiliency to not quit?
So my initial reaction is to say, oh, absolutely not. Why would I ever admit to being a quitter? But then if you want the honest truth, there have been a couple times, especially when I was trying to make this a full-time gig.
Yeah.
And there were temptations, where, you're working for the lottery, or I was working in the office for a residential building, a high rise. And I was like, maybe I should just get my real estate license and actually make some money instead of doing this and then running off to my other side gig and then doing that.
Right.
So there were definitely moments where there was the temptation to just settle and kind of pursue that full-time job. And, you're like, okay, I can actually pay my rent and, start an actual career. And, you're just thinking, man, I don't know if this, my break, so to speak, will come.
Right.
And I'll never forget, I'm going to age myself here. I think I was 25 or 24. Mm-hmm. And I wrote on my mirror in my apartment, my bathroom, and I set a date. It was August 15th, we'll say. And I was in 1 year, I have to be working full-time in broadcasting. And it wasn't necessarily an ultimatum. That deadline wasn't okay, if I'm not, then I'm giving up.
Right.
But I set that goal, and it was amazing because every morning I'd wake up, every night, when I was in there washing my face before I went to bed, that would be that reminder. And it's funny how these little steps kind of found their way into my life in order to help accomplish that goal.
Right.
So yeah, there were definitely times though, or it was just discouraging getting no after no after no and going to various auditions and just being told, oh, we liked you, but we didn't think you had the experience, or we're going to go with someone else. And so, yeah, it's a business where you're going to be told no a lot. And there were a couple of times I just don't have what it takes, or maybe it will just be better for me to pursue something else because this just obviously it wasn't meant to be as much as I want it.
Right. And yeah, I definitely appreciate that answer. I definitely want the real. There's no question about it. Because going into this profession, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. I know that. And I'm sure you've made some as far as maybe a social life or maybe family and friends. You definitely got to make that decision. I've made that decision. I definitely know that, hey, I love my family and friends, but this is something I want to do. And if they love me as much as I love them, they'll understand at the end of the day.
They will.
And
you're right,
I also understand that, about what you're talking about your not wanting to do it no more, because a lot of no's is discouraging. But you got your yes. When you got your yes, you took off and ran with it. And look at you.
Yes, I did. I was like, give me that ball. I'm ready.
Right? You didn't fumble it at all. So that's good.
Oh, thank you.
So I look at your story and I get inspired. I get encouraged. And it's like, because like you said, you date yourself. I'm going to date myself a little bit too. I'm a little older than 25. I'm 28 right now. So
still so young. That is still so young. You're good.
So, so at the same time, 'cause I didn't start school till 2015. 2015 is when I started, and now we're in 2020 and I'm in my senior year. So it's been great. Like I said, it's been a journey. So yeah. So I definitely understand, and that's pretty cool. That's an awesome answer.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you how long ago that was, but it's all good.
That's okay. Listen, we can talk about that offline if you like. That's cool. That's awesome. So what is one sport that you haven't covered but want to, and why?
What a question. So I feel like I'm almost in that place where I've covered nearly every sport. Remember, college football, NFL, a little NBA, college basketball, hockey, baseball, minors and majors, boxing now.
Right. What about
frisbee? Dude, I've never covered cricket. Actually, rugby. Rugby might be kind of cool. Cricket's really confusing. I saw, what was it? Icelandic baseball looks really interesting. I saw John Boy post something about it. The rules are insane.
Right.
That's a great question. Or maybe like a really fun winter sport, just because I'm from Colorado and it would be cool to be like at the X Games doing something with that. Yeah, I don't even know. That's a great question.
Wow.
I would say
Did I stump you? Did I stump you on the question?
You stumped me, see?
Oh.
Yeah, okay, we'll say aside from cricket, which is dope, or maybe even rugby, I would say probably, a winter sport at the Olympics, whether it be, or the X Games.
Okay. How about the Olympics?
Final answer.
We'll say the Olympics. How about the Olympics? Would you like to cover that?
Olympics, yes. Summer or winter, I wouldn't care, just to be there and to be part of that.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. See? This is why you're going to be a good writer, because someone's going to give you a long-winded answer, and then you'll be able to condense it into something that's like a nice little morsel.
It's cool. I like it. I like we're connecting already. You're from the West Coast. I was raised in the West Coast, so that's a connection that we have.
Yep. And that's what this job is about, is finding those connections.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I got to ask before I move on, are you a Broncos fan?
Yeah. Is the sky blue? Of course. Were you Bears? No, you're Chargers. It's better than Falcons, I guess.
Chargers.
I don't know.
Chargers.
It's okay.
Listen, it's okay. It's we probably, if we ever have that moment where the game is on and we're in the same room, we probably can't watch that. That's okay.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's fine. I mean, it was like really cute when we were winning all the Super Bowls, and we were winning the West, and you guys were just kind of doing your thing, and Phillip Rivers was like not very nice, but that's okay. It's fine. We're good.
It would be okay with you. Absolutely. Yes, you guys won. You guys won some Super Bowls. That's right.
Now we're not very good.
Haven't been the one since I was 3, so it's okay.
Oh.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's It's crazy. Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
That's all
so
right.
yes, I am a Broncos fan.
Okay. I just wanted to
through and through.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So the next question I have is, what is the pros and cons of the job that you do right now? Is it colleagues? Is it long hours? Is it work assignments? Is it a combination of all three? What would you say is the pros and cons?
Yeah, so I'll start. I always like saving the best for last. So we'll start with the cons.
Okay.
I mean, and again, it's so relative, and it is one of those things where it's like I have a hard time even discussing the negative side of this industry because I'm so blessed.
Right.
But if you want to point out, the reality of the situation, usually the hours are not conducive to a great social life because, I mean, for example, I'm about to go into work at night and get off on a Friday night at 12:30 in the morning.
Right.
So if you're working weekends, you're working nights, you're working holidays, because that's when all the sporting events are going on and people are at home watching them. Like, it makes complete sense. A lot of travel, which again is really hard to complain about because I absolutely love traveling and going new places and experiencing new cities and meeting new people and cultures and all that. So, but that is something that is difficult if you want to have a family. And of course, it's staying up to speed. For me right now, I'm covering 3 sports: hockey, baseball, and boxing. So trying to just make sure I'm up to speed on all 3 of those sports, it's definitely a challenge. It can be a little overwhelming. It can get stressful, but I absolutely love it. I work with great people. We have tremendous resources at the networks, and I always feel like I'm put in a position to succeed. So as far as, some of that goes, and it's a lot of pressure, right? Like, you still feel like even if you have a job and you're under contract, you feel like you're always auditioning, which is good. But I think it is very important not to be looking over your shoulder. Like, you need to be looking ahead. You need to be focused on you. You can't worry about people that are coming behind you wanting, your position. Because especially in this industry, thousands of girls and men are lined up behind me trying to do that. So I would say those are the biggest challenges. And then as far as the pros go, everything. You wake up and you get to go talk about sports for a living, and you work with amazing people. And, for me, I took this job and I got to move to New York City, and, it's so cool. I feel like I'm literally living my dream. Yeah. So I'm honestly so incredibly thankful. And I've met so many great friends since I've been here. And it's the excitement. It's like I said earlier, the unscripted dramas, the storytelling, the connections. And for me, like, I think I've grown a lot as a person through growing as a professional because of that. There's like this maturation and this evolution that takes place when you're talking to people and connecting with them and helping them share their stories, and in turn, hopefully inspiring other people.
Absolutely. That's a great answer.
So you're fulfilling your purpose. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's about so much more than just a job. It's like, to me, I'm very like a spiritual person. So it's so much deeper than all of it.
Oh, absolutely. You and I both. And I could tell just by the happiness on your face, the glow that you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very welcome. I could tell. And that's a beautiful thing. That's the reason why I want to connect with people, because when you hear those kind of stories, it can't help. It does nothing but inspire you to want to do that, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to put smiles on people's faces. I want to wake up to a job and say, damn, I love going to work. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Job and just pay bills and be like, okay. So it's cool to have money in your pocket, but when you love to do something that you love to do, I mean, it's priceless. So
it's a different level, and it's you're right, it's rare. So that's cool that you want to do that, because you're not existing. You're pursuing your purpose. You're fulfilling your purpose.
That's a beautiful house or a beautiful place you have right there. I like that.
Thank you. It's my little apartment.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Those very small.
Yes. You and me both. Mine is small too. Yes, indeed.
But it's great.
Yes, and it's yours. So that's what matters. It's yours and it's mine by yourself. You can do what you want. So
yes.
Let me ask you. As a sports reporter and a host, you're always on the go. So how realistic is it that you get a job and stay in the same area, or is it better to continue to move for work?
So I think this depends on where you're at in your life. There are some people that are growing as professionals and they're married and then they have families. So it is difficult to move, and they have a great gig. And so there's, for them, it's very important to have that stability and really plant those roots. For me, since I was in that fortunate position, from a personal standpoint, not to really have anything, I think it's important to continue to grow and move and evolve as a professional. The last job I had in Colorado, I was working for the regional network that I interned at, covering my hometown teams with the dream job.
Right.
I loved it. My family was nearby. Colorado, I mean, Denver's an amazing city to live in.
That it is.
And yeah, so but this opportunity came up, and for me, I wanted to see what was on the other side of that mountain. I wanted to know what I could do. I wanted to see how far I could take this. And I'm still in that position. I want to see how good I can be at this network and, grow to be the best I can be and like really try and fulfill my potential. So I don't think I can answer that, because I think it depends. It's a case by case basis. If it's something you want and, you want to continue pursuing your job, especially when you're starting off, yeah, you have to be willing to move anywhere. And that's what a lot of people have done. But as you get older or maybe you just, life comes at you. I think it just depends on like what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how I'm going to stop there, because it's tough. I think it just really depends.
No, it's cool. And you did answer it. You answered it very well. And like I said, you're doing a very good job on the networks that you're doing. At least from the reels I've seen, I haven't seen any flubs, anything going on live TV. Now, maybe.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You judge yourself harder than anybody judges themselves harder. But from what I've seen, I appreciate what you do. And you do it very well. So.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
No, you're good. You're good. And eventually, of course, I would love to have a family. But starting out, I think I definitely would want to be on the move and try to improve and try to, elevate myself as far as my career.
Yeah. And that's part of the adventure and the excitement, right? As just being a grown up, an adult, like moving around, if that's something you want, and living in different cities and experiencing those, respective cultures and meeting new friends and like being outside of your comfort zone, because that's real growth comes through that discomfort. Yeah. And I think it's important for people to do that.
Absolutely. I love it. I love meeting new people, as you can obviously tell.
Yeah.
I hawked you down on on Instagram.
Yes, you did. It was great. I was like, okay, let's do it.
And you know what? Just before I go to the next question, I hope I wasn't a bother. I really wasn't. I hope I wasn't, because
not at all.
Sometimes when you do reach out to people and you don't know me from a can of soup and I'm just a very random person, people be like, who is this person that keeps on messaging me about this, about that? But I really just wanted to talk to the best of the best. And I don't do everybody, but I definitely, when I saw you, I was like, I got it.
Well, thank you.
Before I messaged you, I read about you a little bit, and I saw a few of your reels, and I was like, okay. And when I saw reporter, host, MLB Network, I love baseball. And in Colorado, you're a West Coast person. I'm a West Coast person. I love Denver. So that's a huge sports type of town, city, state.
Yeah.
So it was just very important for me to reach out to you. So I'm very happy. So.
Well, thank you. That's very flattering. And I think you were able to walk that line, because you obviously have to be persistent.
Yeah.
And get people's attention. But yeah, if you get too crazy, I think some people might be like, wait, what's going on here?
That's what I'm saying.
You struck that balance.
Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate that, Red. I do. Let me ask you this. So I write for the school. I've gotten articles out published. And I've gotten, material out. But what is the best way for me to get an interview with these sports media companies? Meaning, is it teamwork? Is it working jobs or sites online? Or is it kind of building a connection with maybe some of the media departments at the schools or people like yourself, ingratiating myself with them, letting them know who I am? Like, what is the best way? Because teamwork seems like they get thousands and thousands of resumes, and your resume can get passed over really quickly on that. And sometimes
lost in the shuffle.
Right? Lost in the shuffle. So I feel like sometimes it's best to really do this, or send an email, or let them know who I am and what I'm about. What do you think?
I would say it's a combination of everything you just brought up, but yeah, it is 100% about networking, and whether we like it or not, this industry, and I think this world, is about who you know and making those connections. Because I'm sure when you're running your own whatever sports magazine or newspaper or whatever your aspirations are, a media platform, one day, and someone that you're working closely with is saying, hey, like, check out the resume of this kid, like he or she or they show a lot of promise, you'll probably look at that first because that's someone you trust and know. So what you're doing right now, I think, is extremely important. Not only are you showing that you have the drive and the fortitude to put yourself out there and pursue this, and not just submit a resume online that could easily, like you said, be passed over or lost in the shuffle. You're standing out. You are standing out. And I think a lot of people admire that, and that's what they want. Because if you're doing that to get the job, once you have the job, what will you do to get the interview that is impossible to get with, such and such player or GM that's been impossible to get? And building those relationships, especially as a reporter, relationships with teams, with organizations, with players, those are extremely important if you want to get, the right stories, or if you're breaking things, if you become a beat writer. Like I know we worked with Chris Dempsey with the Denver Nuggets forever, and he was with the newspaper, and then the actual regional network hired him because he was so good and he was such a great asset, and he had those relationships that no one at the network had. And I see that, obviously, like at MLB Network, we have Ken Rosenthal, or, you have Jeff Passan, and you have all these reporters that are so good at what they do, but it's because of those connections they have. And it all started with the hustle that you're exhibiting right now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. It's just important. Like I said, it's very important to me to reach out to people such as yourself. I've reached out to a lot, and some people have said no, or some people haven't responded, and that's cool. That's absolutely fine. My personality is so laid back. Yeah, it happens. It's so laid back. I'm to the point where I'm like, listen, whoever responds, I'm gonna give them my full undivided attention, and I'm gonna talk to them, and I'm gonna be a sponge on everything that they say, because I know it's important. So I really do appreciate what you're saying. I really do, and I mean, I can't say it enough. I really can't. So.
Oh, no, I appreciate you reaching out, honestly. I will say I can't respond to every single one of these, but do my best. It's like, oh yeah, okay, we can make this work today.
Yeah, and that's great. That's awesome. And I was going to be as flexible as I needed to be with your schedule. It did not matter what you wanted to do. I work overnight at the lottery, so I work overnight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a great story. When do you sleep?
Sleep sometimes is optional, but it's okay. Sometimes it's optional. It is, because I love doing this. I love blogging. I love watching games. Then also I have classes at times, but it's a downtime period. I do have a full load coming up in the fall, but at the same time, I love to be busy. I really do.
That's great. That's admirable.
If I'm not in work, if I'm not in school, if I'm not working out, I'm probably watching the game and doing something. So
that's awesome.
That's what I like to do. I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I got a couple more questions, but let me ask you, what advice would you give any up-and-coming sports reporters, hosts that wants to be in the industry that you haven't said yet?
Ooh. Let me think about this one that I haven't said yet, because especially during quarantine, I've done a lot of these. Yeah. Everyone has time to kill, right?
Right.
Something I haven't, something that I was watching back. We did this like fun little show during the lockdown with my friend Jackie Redmond, and then my other friend Julie Stewart Binks. So we did a bad advice episode instead of like all the good advice you have to give. What bad advice did you receive when you were like working your way into the industry, and even like currently? But there was something that I failed to mention, and it's so simple, but it's passion. Love what you're doing. And I don't know if you can learn that or cultivate it, but it's obvious that you're passionate about this. But it shows. Like, I was hosting my first NHL Tonight last night, actually. We were on the air for like 3 hours, and I was like nervous. It was my first in-studio shift back since the pause.
Right.
And I made some mistakes. It was live TV. We don't know what's coming next, right? We're just at the mercy of the games that are taking place. And I have an analyst with me and we're just juggling and it's so fun. And my boss texted me and he was like, it looks like you're having so much fun out there. And it was because I was genuinely so passionate about getting to be the conduit for, you know, whatever was happening out on the ice and the passion the players were exuding. And so it was just great. So I would have to say, I think that's the biggest thing is like, be passionate about what you're doing. Because if you love what you do, it will show, and then it will follow with, you know, your work ethic, and people will see it. And I think it will lead to more opportunities if you're just authentic and passionate.
Absolutely. I like that. That's some really, really, really good advice. And you're right. You got to be passionate. You got to love what you're doing. And wow. Oh, man. You said NHL tonight, 3 hours. Man. That's...
It was a lot, but it was great. I mean, we had some hockey in between, but it wasn't nonstop. But the first hour and a half was continuous. And that was great, though. But it's also a challenge. And if you're up for the challenge and you have to overcome, I mean, even after I've been in this industry working full time for like 10 years now, I still get so nervous. But it was funny because I was going down to cover the Phillies for their home opener and on MLB Network, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, like I haven't done TV in so long because of the lockdown. And you know, I was just like, why do I still feel this way? I shouldn't be, you know, like I should be past this now. And it was funny talking to some of my other colleagues who I really look up to, and they're so talented and they come across as so confident and they're so strong, and they were saying they were feeling the same exact nerves and anxiety and all that. So I think it just means we really care and we really want it, I guess.
Absolutely. If you're not nervous about, you know, anything that's new and exciting, because every time that you go and do a new event, it's new and exciting. If you're not nervous about it, that's a word, because that means you actually care. That means you actually care about your performance. You care about how you sound and to the viewers. And like myself, who watch you and see you, who do such a terrific job once again.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And
I do appreciate that.
I love it. I love what you do, and I love pretty much all the professionals that I've had a chance to talk to. And you know, I haven't seen you on the DAZN. I haven't seen you on that, but
DAZN,
yeah, I haven't seen you on that, but I've seen you on the MLB Network. I do have a question, and you probably can answer this maybe. Do you know if the Crawford-Pacquiao fight is happening?
Oh, that's such a great question. I have not heard anything about that. There are some big fights that are trying to be made, and it hasn't happened yet. And I think, you know, the fact that you're not going to get gate revenue is a huge roadblock for some of these big time fighters, because they're expecting a big purse, and some of them are under contract, but you know, a lot of these promoters and networks just simply can't afford it. So, you know, boxing's in a very unique position right now where, just like with everything else, like we're just gonna, from a financial standpoint, you're probably going to have to make cuts. And I don't know if, you know, either side is willing to make those concessions in order to reach an agreement.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough negotiation, no doubt.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to see it, though. And the fact that Pacquiao is still, like, in the mix for this stuff, and I'm never going to sell him short, because every time you think, you know what, he's past his prime, or he doesn't have it anymore, he goes in there and he surprises you.
Right. That Keith Thurman fight was absolutely amazing to see him do what he did. I was shocked. I was a little shocked. I thought Thurman would take him out, but no, he did not. So, yeah, I was pretty shocked on that one. I did reach out to a person that you said, Julie Stewart Banks. She didn't get back. But she didn't get back to me. But I did reach out to her as well, because I think that she's terrific as well, with her show and stuff like that.
She really is. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, but she's definitely somebody I hope I get a chance to talk to as well. Is that Starbucks?
Yes, don't tell anyone. I live in New York City and I drink Starbucks sometimes. I usually make my own coffee. This was a treat today. I had a gift card.
Well, I never had it. That's why I asked. I never had Starbucks.
You never had Starbucks?
No.
Are you like actively boycotting?
No, I drive by it and I've been like, I'm gonna get it, and you know, I just keep driving. I don't stop.
You know, that's an addiction that you're better off not creating.
I heard that vanilla bean frappo is really good. I heard that. The vanilla bean.
It's delicious, but here's the thing: then you're going to be addicted, and it will just drain your wallet. in your bank account. Empty your wallet, drain your bank account.
Oh, well.
That's how I feel. I'm like, no, I had to be very disciplined with my Starbucks intake.
Okay.
From a financial perspective.
I like it. Oh, so you're in New York City now. That's where you're based?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, got you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I want to do, like I said, I'm very happy that I got a chance to connect with you and talk with you. I definitely want to keep in touch with you. I'll probably I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on Twitter. I definitely will probably share my contact with you. I'm not gonna share it here, Perfect. But I'll share my contact with you.
555.
Right. So I also want to share my articles. Our website has been kind of they're working on maintenance with our website, but I have like 4 or 5 stories that I've written that I definitely want to send to you. And then
please, and I'll
that I do as well. So I want to do that. So I'm gonna still pay attention to you. I'm still gonna be in touch, and I really hope that we get to do this again sometime. And it doesn't have to be such a formal thing of me just asking conversations. I would love to have a conversation.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I would as well. And I know you're going far, and I will, I'll forward your articles over to a couple of my friends that work in sports writing who are very talented, and they would love to pay it forward as well.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I don't have any more questions. If you have anything else you want to say to me, then you can. But if not, then you enjoy your Friday, your weekend, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you very soon.
Thank you. You too, Chris. Pardon me. Honestly, the tenacity that you're showing and, pursuing all these different interviews and making these connections, and obviously the raw talent that you have just in your ability to connect with people, you're going to do it. There's no doubt in my mind. So I'm excited for you. And I hope I can introduce you to someone that can give you an opportunity. And if that's not the case, then maybe they can introduce you to another person. And that's what networking is all about.
I really do appreciate that, Lauren. Take care, and thank you
too,
so
Chris.
much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Go Broncos.
Take care.
I had to have the last word. All right, I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, okay? Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.